So I do believe that trainers are really focusing more on core training and functional training in general. I mean, that's been the buzzword for the last few years. And more personal trainers and even group exercise instructors are thinking more about core training and functional training. Now, on a personal level, I feel sometimes when we say core training that it doesn't make sense, because we should always be training the core in anything we do. So it shouldn't be like a separate entity. And when we have core training classes, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It should be a focus maybe on the core, but of course you're looking at the whole body being trained and an integrated movement. Functional training, the other thing I think about that is that it's almost like an oxymoron, because what is the opposite to that? Dysfunctional training? It should always be functional. So I think that we're using that because we're doing things that are a little different than before. We weren't in the traditional model of always working in one plane, in the sagittal plane, and we're saying that these are functional for daily life. But for me, that's the way just fitness should be anyway. And as we move forward, I think most trainers are going to focus on that. Now, in terms of, are we going to see a decline in the traditional studios with just traditional equipment? I think so. It's going to take a long time. And what's happening, our equipment companies are aware of this change in the thought process of personal trainers. So the equipment is slowly changing as well. But you know, there's always going to be those people that want to just get on a machine and have the support for their back and just crank out their repetitions and put heavy weights. So I don't think it's the demise, but I do think that there'll be a big change, and as we go forward, you'll probably see less of that, and you'll see more in what they're calling the functional training pieces of equipment. So I think it'll coexist, but again, it's going to go forward more in the, yes, core training, functional training, but I think that should just be everyday training.